Kogan at 8:10, analyzing yet another document. I think we'll just go bit by bit here, kind of break it down. We'll include the historical context and anything else we see. So,
Yeah.
All right. So this is coming from a lot of Japanese words in here. I'm not very well versed in that. So this is Dr. Akazuki, Nagasaki, 1945, Quartet Books, 1982. All right, so now we got 2 dates here. The guy's obviously a doctor. I mean, Nagasaki, 1945, I'm thinking this has to do with probably the atomic bomb.
Yeah, and the fact that it was published in 1982 is probably some sort of memoir of what went on. Now, got to point out, when a significant amount of time passes, history can become distorted.
Yep.
But when you're talking about what we call a flashbulb moment like this,
sure,
flashbulb moments refer to moments in your life you're never going to forget. For us, it's 9/11.
And we're getting the perspective from the Japanese.
Yeah.
All right. This guy was a doctor. He certainly had some time to reflect on this.
Mm-hmm.
If he was there, I'm sure there was probably some sleepless nights. Probably some flashbacks, some post-traumatic stress disorder, whatever the case would be. So he's definitely had some time. We're putting this down. Trying to think, is that anniversary date or anything? Nope, that's it. Okay, so here we go. Dr. Akazuki was a doctor working in Nagasaki, Japan on August 9th, 1945. He kept notes on his experiences during and after the bombing of that city. In 1961, when he was asked about his experiences, he felt it was his responsibility to write them down in a book.
All right, so the fact that he's keeping notes makes me want to throw that date out. Okay, so it is a long time that's passed since this book's been published, but he's recalling his actual own notes from that particular day. It's not recalled from memory, so it makes me believe it's going to be a little bit more reliable as a source here.
Absolutely. And in terms of this, he's a doctor.
Yeah.
So now, when you're bringing up sources, a citizen, just your average citizen who just happened to be caught in the midst of this, their experience is probably going to be quite different from what a doctor had experienced, because this is a guy who's probably treating people.
This just happened to me this morning. My son Brady had a blister on his hand.
Okay.
He was playing hockey with his brothers, got a little bit of a blister. And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm going to die." Because he has no experience. Like,
that's it.
A doctor would be like, "Yeah, put a Band-Aid on it, you'll be fine."
Yeah.
So we're talking about an authority. Yeah. Somebody who knows the medical field and can understand wounds that we're probably going to be talking about in this.
There was a blinding white flash of light, and the next moment, bang, crack. A huge impact, like a gigantic blow, struck down upon our bodies, our heads, and our hospital. I lay flat. I didn't know whether or not of my own choice. Then down came piles of debris slamming into my back. So this guy was obviously impacted by it. The bang, crack, and this blinding white flash is probably referring to this.
Yep.
And of course, when we're looking at what the atomic bomb does, this bomb particularly drops, and all of that positive pressure coming out is going to annihilate everything in sight. Positive pressure will go all the way out, similar like to a wave at the beach, come right back in, and that's where you get that kind of mushroom cloud. So all the buildings I could see were on fire, large ones and small ones, and those with straw thatched roofs. Further off along the valley, Yorikami Church, the largest Catholic church in the east, was ablaze. The technical school, a large 2-story wooden building, was on fire, as were many houses in the distant ordnance factory. Electricity poles were wrapped in flame like so many pieces of kindling. Such a small excerpt that gives you a lot. This would take me 3 paragraphs to kind of explain. That's just how I am. But, some certain things you're seeing, he's mentioning some things where you have a civilian population.
That's what strikes me.
Yeah, a church.
You're looking at a church, a school,
a hospital,
houses,
yep,
a hospital. When we were bombing the Germans in Europe, we tried our best to have strategic bombing runs. Attack bridges, railroads, factories, anything that they could do to produce war.
Right.
Where you have a bomb of this magnitude and this type of destruction, you can't be like, all right, I need you to destroy this building over here, but not this one over here.
Right.
So,
and it's also speaking to the communities you're going to have to rebuild. What do you have in every community? You have a church, you have a hospital, electricity poles. I mean, now you're kind of like touching on the infrastructure that you're going to have to rebuild in terms electricity. What else is damaged? You have homes. I mean, this is, when you talk about what that bomb does and that positive pressure coming all the way out, annihilating everything, here you have it in this man's words.
And I must go back to this part of the sourcing, that he felt it was his responsibility to write them down in a book, to preserve the history.
Right.
From our perspective, we dropped the bomb. A couple days later, the war's over.
Yeah, this is what it looks like for us.
Yeah.
This is what peace looks like for us.
Yeah.
Sailors kissing girls in Times Square. We go back to our own normalcy, if you will. But for them, this is not kissing girls in Times Square. This is,
with the exception of the attack on Pearl Harbor to begin the war.
Right.
We were unscathed.
Yep.
As a country by this war.
Yeah. No battles or anything were fought in the continental United States. So when you're looking at certain other documents that can kind of tie into this, of course, this is what peace looks like for us, and this is what peace or the end of this war looks like for them. And again, you look at some evidence to support what he's saying. I mean, did that in fact happen? Well, yeah. Look at what has been destroyed and annihilated. Again, you have all the rubble. The rebuilding process that you're talking about here. And again, it's one of those things where this is one of these debatable things. Were we justified in dropping the bomb? We're going to say yes, and there's going to be reasons as to why, because, well, they started it. They attacked Japan. They attacked, Pearl Harbor. And then there's the whole, this is what we needed to do, the end of war. But then when you look at the other piece, there's always, was this necessary?
Right. Was it necessary? Right. Truman thought, Truman didn't even lose sleep over it. He's like, hey, you have a bomb, use a bomb.
Right. He didn't even know about it until FDR was
slept soundly that night.
Yeah.
After he ordered the dropping of it. But just always want to put history into perspective.
Yep.
To understand the other side.
Yes.
And what they have.
There's always two sides to a story.
Yep.
Anything else we need on this?
No. Good.
All right. Good. Thanks for watching.